Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here to celebrate a birthday. Today is the 1 year anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, for Scrap a Sketch on Facebook. The infamous Lisa Sikorsky, who makes some amazing sketches every week and sometimes more often than that. So last year on the 17th, she posted this sketch, and this I turned it to its side and used it to document this picture of some pizza with some papers that I had in a lunchbox recollections paper pad. And so today I'm actually going to scrapbook this the right way without turning it because I have a picture of me, my mom, and my aunt having lunch. So I'm going to use these beautiful papers from Paige Evans' Bungalow Lane to document this afternoon out. And I'm going to try and use up some of my papers and some of my scraps. So I'm excited to use some of these. I've been kind of keeping them and hoarding them. I have these cute little puffies and some ephemera. Not a lot of that'll get used on this layout since it's kind of a not overly embellished. At least that's the way I do it. But I will get some stuff used up. So I have my papers, I have my embellishments, my picture, and this awesome sketch by Lisa. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I gotta find some papers, and this is going to be a completely 100% pattern paper layout. Now, if you all know me, that is not very normal because pattern paper can scare me. And I'd say about 16, 18 months ago, you would probably see me use a solid with a background paper, with a pattern paper, or a pattern paper with a solid, and very, very rarely blend my pattern papers, even if it came out of the same paper pad or collection. I wasn't a collection scrapper, and I was not much of a pattern paper person because it's daunting. It's very daunting. But this layout is 100% pattern paper, and I am really happy with the way it turned out. So I take that blue and light pink stripe and I just trim the branding strip off. And then I take that one with the half circles and I cut that down to 10.5 by 10.5 because I wanted a bit of a thick border like she has in the sketch. And then I cut that pink and blue leafy one to an 8 by 8. And I'm a little overwhelmed with that top 8 by 8 paper. That blue one that I just cut down to a 6.5 by 4.5 is going to be my paper mat. So I decided I was going to flip this to this pink grid. It's not solid, it's still a pattern, but it's a little less overwhelming to me. And I wanted to have that dark in the background and then something dark or at least not white based in the foreground, in the front, but I just was a little overwhelmed with that floral. So I flipped it over. I'm going to use this grid paper, which I love. It's kind of like a wonky grid paper. And I just think that's so cool. It looks, like hand drawn instead of like something out of a graph paper book. Sorry for this glare or the shadow over there on the left. I have some of my scraps sitting on top of my little box, and it was hanging over and I didn't notice. So I'm gonna mat my picture on some of this pattern paper, and then I put it down on that blue 6.5 by 4.5, and I ink that with the chip sapphire. And then I have this paper right here, and originally I was going to use this pattern as that 8 by 8 and the grid pattern as the little banner, I couldn't think of the word, coming down, but decided since I was obviously flipping the 8 by 8, I needed to flip the banner. So then I'm going to also use this floral, which I've used to mat my picture, so it's right there. I'm bringing all the same papers in. And I'm going to put that down as well. So I have not taped or attached the bottom of my picture so that I can tack this in there. And I want it to come almost all the way to the bottom of that 8x8 grid, but not completely. And so I'm pretty much following the sketch. I'd say pretty close. I think I moved this tag over, or this banner over, a little bit, but more than she has it in the sketch, but not by much. And then I'm going to put this little one that's the same pattern as that pink up at the top. Now I'm going to trim some of that because that's too long for me. I don't like how long that is, but I don't want it to be too small because I'm going to do a punch with my Creative Memories circle punch, which I don't even think that I show you. I think I do it off camera, but I have inked this little tag or banner with that chip sapphire as well. And then I'm going to use my Creative Memory circle punch, the smallest size I have, and make that blue circle out of that teacup scrap. And then I made another one that goes on top right there. And it is actually out of that same teacup scrap, but I used one of the teacup patterns because it had that peachy pinky color that's in that little floral. So I put that there, and then I'm going to use the puffies. And originally I put a puffy down, the star puffy down, that yellow one. And I was going to put another puffy there because in her sketch she's got two stars kind of over top each other. But that's not going to look right being puffies. So I thought I'd just put something different. So I moved the little round button that I used down a little further. And I will add a little something else over there to kind of work that out. And I do want to use some of these florals to kind of go around the picture. So not overly, it's not like in your face. They're all tucked in. And I cut some of them so I'm not like wasting what goes behind the picture. And so I just tuck this yellow and orange one in here at the top and on the side, on the left side. Then I have a couple small ones down on the bottom. I'm going to pull those out and tuck and tack those down. And then I'm going to bring another floral little pink one that I cut in half and tuck it in. And then there is that little leafy thing I just put back in the bucket. I cut the bottom 3 leaves off and fussy cut them. Now, I didn't fussy cut them tightly. I wanted a little white, but it was a little bit wider than that. And so I trimmed that down. And then I'm going to tuck those in just to give a little pop of a different color. That green is not on this layout really. I mean, it came in this collection and there is a smidge of it in one of those little half circles. But I like that pop of green because it just kind of stands out, especially on the top and the bottom, because the one on the side's about to get partially covered. So I originally pulled out a thicker set that is a Dear Lizzie snapshots, and I was going to use the best, but it was really big and it's not what I wanted, and there's no black on this layout, so I really didn't want to bring it in. So I ended up getting out my miscellanea and using this white one that says wonderful, and we had a wonderful time. It's we had a good good food and a good time and everything. So I put this pretty much right. It's not on my head, but it's close. But I'm okay with that. It's not obstructing anything. You can still see the funny signs in the background that say, "Can vegetarians eat animal crackers? And if you don't like the way I do things, buy me out, please." So they have funny signs like that at Roosters. And so I've taken some fun pictures of the signs like that before. So anyway, that is it. I'm really happy with the way this layout turned out. I did add a couple stars from that miscellanea as well to bring the white on top of those 2 clusters above and below the picture. Here is Lisa's sketch again. There are a lot of sketches that were posted on her Facebook group for today's birthday, and officially I'm posting this on YouTube after her birthday because it is 5 hours ahead. They are 5 hours ahead over yonder. So sorry for the delay. Actually, I think it's after midnight here too. But happy belated birthday, Lisa and Scrap a Sketch. I hope that it was a fabulous day and that I hope you all will go to Scrap a Sketch on Facebook and check out the awesome sketches. You can see all of her previous sketches. They are in an album that you can check out. So you should go check into that. I hope to see you all again real soon. Have a great day and happy scrapping.